Hey guys, we are back for a brand new episode of the podcast, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Alexander Poppeck. He's one of Germany's top MMA fighters, and he's fought on Dana White's Contender Series. He's also signed by MTK Global MMA, and it's a very interesting interview. Hope you like it. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell notification down here, and let's get straight to it.
Hello guys, it's Hammad from MMA Diagnosis, and today I have a very special guest with me. He is a professional mixed martial artist from Munich, Germany, and he's the number one MMA fighter from Munich, Mr. Alex Poppeck. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be on your podcast today.
Thank you for the opportunity for coming on, mate. It's an honor to have you on. How are you today? It's quite early.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock right now. I just had breakfast, had my coffee, so starting in the day.
All right, and so you're obviously from Munich, Germany. How would you describe Munich for people who haven't been there like myself?
Oh, you gotta come here, check it out. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. A lot of nature compared to other cities in Germany. So yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, I'll definitely need to come down and check it out. So to get straight into it, how did you get started into your martial arts journey?
So in the past, we traveled to Thailand a lot with the family for summer holidays.
Yeah.
And I trained only fitness in the gym there, and across the street there was a Muay Thai facility. So after my own training, I always watched the guys hitting the pads, and yeah, eventually I joined the training.
Oh, so you were in Thailand, was it? So did you join in
Yeah,
Germany or in Thailand?
yeah. Then I joined in Germany after my holiday in Thailand was over. Yeah,
Oh, okay. And how old were you then? Were you in your teens or
I was 18,
or
so
18?
10 years ago.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay, and then so you started in was it Thai boxing or was it full MMA?
Yeah, that's right. So I started Thai boxing first, but in the same school there was a jiu-jitsu instructor. So I started Thai boxing, and shortly after that, I started jiu-jitsu as
Okay,
well. Yeah.
so yeah, so it kind of started quite mixed straight away, right? Than the traditional a lot of fighters. So before we get into your like professional career, how was your amateur career in the sense like what was your record? How long were you an amateur for?
Yeah. So after about a year of training, I had my first amateur MMA fight. It was only 2 rounds by 3 minutes or so in a very small boxing hall, just in a very small ring. So with the shoto gloves, the little bit bigger gloves, and
Yeah.
shin protection. Yeah, was funny. So I had about, I think, 10 to 12 amateur MMA fights. In 2011, I fought like almost every month. Like I
Wow.
had 5 wins straight, and I fought for the German amateur championship. Unfortunately, I lost by split decision, but it was a nice style because you have to win all the year throughout the year, so you get points, and at the end of the year you had a ranking like number one fought against number two for the championship.
So
Yeah, and then
yeah, kind
and
of.
then after that I had a couple more amateur fights. So and then in 2013, November 2013, I turned pro.
Wow. So you had essentially 11 to 12 fights in 1 year. So were you cutting weight or I don't were you cutting a lot of weight or was it just straight?
No, at that time I was at the weight where I'm fighting. So I was about like 84, 83 kilos, and the weight class was 83. So I didn't cut weight for that because the weigh-ins were straight before the fight. So like 3 afternoon, and you fought at 6 or 7 in the evening.
Okay. So speaking on that, you just said that you fought on the day of the fight. Weigh-ins were on the day of the fight, right? Would you prefer that for professional mixed martial arts as well, generally, where every fighter just fights their natural weight, in the sense where they cut slight weight and then they fight, instead of one day before and you're cutting 20 to 30 pounds?
Yeah, me personally, I would prefer that, yes, because I think it's much healthier for the athletes, and you don't have to worry, or like, you don't have to cut too much weight, so you're not stressed as much to get the weight and bring your body down. So it's not good, I think.
Okay, because you're quite a big guy, right? You're 6'3", you fight in light heavyweight, right?
That's right.
So how much are you generally cutting? Is it 20, 30 pounds, or is it a small cut for you?
Not that much, maybe 10 or 15 pounds.
Oh, okay. So is that just through essentially dieting? You're just cutting all your weight, or is it you just drop it on the week of the fight, you just cut out the water weight?
Yeah, that's it. Because it's not too much, you can just do it by cutting out the water. I don't have to really diet so much. Yeah.
Okay, so you got signed recently by MTK Global MMA, which is a management, quite a big management company, which started off here in the UK, where we're based, and so they got fighters like Darren Till under their resume. How did that signing occur? Did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
I was friends with Rizwan. He's my manager from MTK. So we had regular contact on Facebook, and then we talked about making a contract for me as an athlete and for them as a company. So yeah.
Okay, nice. That's a big signing. So moving forward from that, how would you describe your style of fighting?
I would describe my style of fighting as a mixed martial artist, because I always fight a fight like which is better for me. So I look at my opponent, or I watch his tape, and when I see, okay, I have the better chance in the grappling aspect, so I go to the grappling. If I think I am better in striking, I fight in striking. So yeah.
Because your style reminds me a bit of, it's quite reminiscent of Tito Ortiz or Mark Holman, in the sense, when I watched the fights, as soon as you got them they were in the full guard, your ground and pound was what started your finishes. It was kind of what started. They couldn't handle your ground and pound. It was very good. Would you say that's your main strength, your ground and pound, or would you say?
Yes, I also have a nickname, Mr. Ground and Pound.
Oh, do you? Okay, well, I just saw that as soon as I saw your fights.
And when people ask me what's your favorite grappling technique, I always tell them ground and pound. So yeah, I think it's in MMA fight, it's a very effective strategy, and a lot of people don't train that regularly and don't train that effectively. So you really got to work on that. So because I know a lot of people, they only train the grappling and wrestling, and then they are in the fight and they just try to punch, but you really have to know how to transfer your weight into the punch, how to control, how to open up for the punches. So yeah, it's another discipline, ground and pound. It's not just striking on someone's face when he's down. It's technique.
Yeah, because that definitely caught my eye. So moving on from there, you started, so you had your amateur fights, and now you go into pro. How would you describe the difference between amateur and professional?
It's not too much. The only difference is like the protection and the longer rounds. But from any other aspect, it's not too much of a difference, I would say. A fight is a fight,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and so you fought on Dana White's Contender Series, which is kind of like a tryout before you get into before you get a contract with the UFC, right? How was that experience essentially? Although it didn't go your way, but how valuable was that experience having someone like Dana White in front of you watching the fight? I'm sure he was there, right? Dana watching the fights, yeah. So how was that experience? Just
yeah, very very great experience, and I think I got a better fighter just from being there, just having this experience. Um, yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go my way, but I've learned a lot, and it was a nice experience. Can't say too much about it, because it was just like 3 or 4 days in Vegas. What I can say is that the Performance Institute is absolutely crazy, like nice, nice place. But when I fought, I was still in kind of jet lag because of the time difference. It's 9 hours from Vegas to Germany.
Oh, yeah.
And we arrived Saturday night and then fought on Tuesday. So yeah, but that's no excuse for the fight. But yeah.
I mean, you did get kicked in the nuts as soon as the fight started, and then he kind of
Oh man, I got kicked in the nuts like 10 times in this fight.
I saw it.
It was crazy. Kneed and kicked.
You got eye popped
everything as well, yeah. But it is what it is. Gotta move forward from that.
Yeah. So you got the victory in your last fight, which is straight after that, and you essentially destroyed your opponent. You got like I said, the ground and pound again came, and you just finished. So how did it feel getting back in the win column?
Oh, it was so nice. I was very pumped before this fight. I wanted to win so badly, so I was very aggressive going into this fight because I knew I need to get back on the winning streak, and I need to get a finish very very fast. So yeah.
So that was
because my my goal is still to go to the UFC or the bigger league. So you have to get straight back to the winning streak.
So that fight was a couple of months ago, I'm sure, this year.
That fight was October last year, so 2019 October. Yeah.
Okay, and so it's been a couple of months, right? When are you hoping to get back into the cage? And is there any organization you're looking to sign to that kind of caught your eye, or?
Okay, so I don't focus on a organization in particular. I just want to have good fights which bring me to UFC, and I'm looking to fight when there's a good opportunity. So right now I'm focusing on opening my own gym. Okay. I'm very busy with doing that. It's a small gym to start, but it's still a lot of work. And but when the opportunity is coming up, I will take it and I will fight again.
Okay, it's good to hear that. And it's funny that you brought up your own gym, because that was my next question. So you have your own gym. Is it MMA and personal training, or is it just?
Yeah, that's right. We have personal training. So until recently, I just had personal training. So I earned my money by doing personal training. But now we had the opportunity for to rent a room. And we decided to set up a gym there. And probably next week, we will start doing memberships as well and regular classes for the people.
Yeah, because I was just going to ask, you're essentially a small business owner, right? And has a lockdown affected your business in any way, in sense of, because there's quite a lot of restrictions, right? Even with personal training.
So actually, with the personal training, my business got bigger because people were locked up they couldn't go to the gyms because the gyms were locked down, and they wanted to still train. So we trained outside in nature a lot. Now it's summer, So the possibility was there, and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
But you can also do personal training even with distance. So can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
them shadow box and doing sprints or mobility exercises, stuff like that.
Yeah, because in England, I think the lockdown rules have they've gone more lenient now recently. So I think now people are starting to be able to do personal training, whereas before they were doing it online. I think now they're allowed to do outdoors 2 meters. So yeah, it's kind of good to have a business as well as your career, right? Instead of just focusing, just banking on your MMA career only solely. And moving on from that, I saw in one of your fights, I think it was in Titan FC, you were training with MMA Masters. So how long were you training there for? How was that training experience with that team?
So I was training there in 2018 mainly, like always for a month or two, coming back to Germany, coming back to Miami. And the beginning of 2019, I was there as well. We actually tried to move there, but then so me and my girlfriend, but then we decided differently because we found a new home here in Germany, so new house to live, and everything was going in the right direction here in Germany. So we decided to stay here. But the training experience was good, yeah. A lot of high-level guys to train over there. So yeah, I enjoyed the time, and it was crazy experience. I lived in the room in the gym with 5 other Brazilian guys. So,
wow. How did that work?
yeah. so because a lot of them, they can't speak English too good. So
Okay.
but in the end it will work out.
Yeah, you communicated through fighting, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just gonna say, home is home, right? Before we so moving on, how many fights would you say it'll take you before you maybe get a shot with the UFC? Would you say it's just a couple more? You're not too far away.
Yeah, I'm not too far away at all. I think right now there's the chance even to get in on very short notice. You're seeing this right now.
Yeah.
More and more people are getting in, like with a 1 week notice and stuff. I hope, or I think maybe 1 or 2 more wins will put me in there.
Because there's not many. I don't think there was. Will you be the first German light heavyweight fighter in the UFC? Because I can't think of any from the top of my head.
Right now, we don't have a German light heavyweight. Yes,
Wow.
So I would be the first, I think.
Yeah, because we've got some good fighters that have come in from Germany. Pascal Kraus, Dennis Siever. So light heavyweight. How the division's getting quite. John Jones kind of wiped you out. Would you say when you come in, you'll be the next kind of guy? Were you hoping to be the next guy where you can, make a way for European fighters within the light heavyweight division?
Yes, of course. I hope to make a statement. But right now, the division, I feel like new talent is coming in from Europe as well. So Alexander Rakic from Austria. And now, just recently, Jerzy Prokacka from Czech. He beats Volkan Oezdemir. So more and more talent in this division is coming up.
Yeah, because how would you describe the German MMA scene in general? How is it getting a lot more popular now? Is it still on the rise in a sense?
Both. So it's still on the rise, but it's growing and growing. So each year it's getting bigger. Each year more and more gyms are opening up. More and more events are starting. And so each year it's getting bigger. Now we have internet live media streams for the fights in a couple of organizations. Not all, but but quite some. So yeah, it's getting more and more popular.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask because the wrestling, a lot of like the European fighters, we're more known for the striking, right, essentially, than the grappling. Have you said that gaps? Would you say the gaps been filled out from what you've seen with the grappling? Or we still
Yes, I feel like what's it's hard to say. It's different from gym to gym and from person to person. It depends on the fighter, I would say, because a couple of fighters they only want to do striking, or a couple of fighters they think jiu-jitsu is enough to fight in MMA. You know, and in the past here in Munich, like 9-10 years ago, people used to think that you only need to do Muay Thai and Gi Jiu-Jitsu to fight in MMA. But now, things changed. So people know how to train and know what to do.
Yeah, and I was just gonna ask you, do you have Nordic ancestry? Because you look like a Viking man with a blonde beard and.
Yeah, a lot of people they told me you look like Björn from Vikings.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that, and so I'm gonna before we end the interview, I'm gonna move on to some lighter questions now, some easy questions, and so the first one is, what's your favorite striking technique?
Left liver kick.
Oh, okay, that's quite specific. Have you finished anyone with that in your career?
Not in the fight, but a couple of times in the training, yes.
Oh, in the training, right. So it's technique to look out for, right, in the future. I was going to ask you the grappling technique, but you already told me it's ground and pound, right? What about submission then?
Submission, ground and pound. No, submission, it's heel hook or leg lock. So all about the leg, like heel hook or straight leg lock, stuff like that.
Okay. So I'm going to give you two options. I want you to choose between the two options. So Borussia Dortmund or Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, all good. Body kick or leg kick? We just said that.
Yeah, body kick.
Uppercut or hooks?
Hooks, definitely hooks.
Okay. Rear naked choke or armbar?
Rear naked choke.
All right. And the last question is, if you had one fighter, any weight class, any era within MMA, who would it be? You could fight, any fighter you could fight.
Who I could fight against?
Yeah, fantasy fight, one fighter.
Fantasy. Man, hard question. I never thought about it. Oh man. I would say GSP, because he was always my fighter. You know, I was looking up to him. His whole career. I wanted to learn from him. So would be very interesting to be in a fight with him, which strategy he would follow.
Yeah, it's weird that you mentioned that, because yesterday I got a memory, you know, on Facebook. My first Facebook photo from 10 years ago was GSP. So it's weird that you mentioned that. So speaking on GSP, he's essentially the package of a complete fighter, right? That's what everyone strives to be. Is that that's obviously where every fight is aiming at. Would you say that working on your wrestling and things like that within Germany, is there enough wrestling in Germany, or would you say you have to go somewhere like America or to improve that area?
I think wrestling for MMA, it's about timing and efficiency. So we have different ways to get a takedown, like reactive and proactive. So that's what this is what GSP was always saying as well. Reactive is when the guy's coming forward and try to punch you, you get under him and get the takedown, and proactive is when you go forward, pressure, and take him down. So it's a lot about timing. So you gotta drill this a lot in the training to execute it in the fight and in the sparring. So that's what we are doing here. But we have also strong straight wrestling clubs to go to, to improve the wrestling. But I think for MMA, the most important is to combine it with the striking. Straight wrestling is different, I think. And what you said about GSP, that's why I love him and his style so much. He could do it all, and he still can. And he always fought the fight which is preferable to him. So when he fought a striker like Thiago Alves, he took him down. When he fought a grappler like Jake Shields, he fought in the striking. So that's my approach as well. So that's why I look up to GSP so much, because he was one of the smartest and most intelligent fighters out there. So he had one of the best fight IQs ever.
Yeah, I hope to see you up there one day. I said you came on our podcast. So, before we end it, is there any sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to? And if people would like to find you, where could they find you?
Yeah, so the gym page for our new gym is on Instagram is at aba.mma, and on Facebook, Mixed Martial Art, to my guys there. Also, shout out to my sponsors, Hype Supplements, Unfair Athletics, and Schlagwerk Boxing. That's it.
Okay, and on your social media, where could people find you?
On Instagram, it's Alex Poppeck MMA, and on Facebook is Alex Poppeck.
It was an honor talking to you. Hope to see you in the UFC soon. Have a great day, man. See you in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for being on here, and greetings. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, you too, Alex.
Hope you enjoyed the interview, guys. I'd like to thank Mr. Alex Poppeck for coming onto the podcast. If you enjoyed these kind of interviews, check out other interviews on our channel, and check out our live streams, which we are doing, UFC Fight Companions, Mukbang Fight Nights, where we eat and watch fights. Make sure you check them out, and like, share, comment, and subscribe to the podcast, and press the bell notification. Peace.